And now the critics are claiming that the Mormons are tied into with the occult because of the stars, upside down stars. Can the critics pass their own test? Spires on the temple have symbolical meaning to the organization, the 12 apostles, and on up into pointing toward heaven, toward God. The critics have distorted that one, claiming that they're nails to penetrate Christ when he comes again during the second coming. Even their fellow critics say they have lost sight of reality on that one. The star on the Eagle Gate is misinterpreted as a satanic symbol by the critics, which it is not. Yes, if we wanted to make a big deal about symbolisms, even the Tanner's home could have an Egyptian sun god Aten symbol on it, but of course they don't. This home was built by Mormons. Perhaps maybe the architectural designs here have nothing to do with Egyptian symbolism, and those who built this home didn't have anything in mind when they built it. But if you wanted to play the anti-Mormon game and test, you can make this sort of claim, outrageous claim as it might be. This is the Christian Lighthouse Ministry, the Tanner's home in Salt Lake City, Utah. And Sandra Tanner has given me permission to film part of her home. I explained to her the points that I was going to bring up in this documentary. Texaco. I guess this gas station under the anti-Mormon interpretation, if taken literal, could be an occultic gas station. Gargoyles. Yes, under the anti-Mormon interpretation, gargoyles could be evidence that this church is into satanic worship because of someone walking by who is ignorant of the symbolism behind gargoyles, that it is a symbol of the evils that are found outside the church as compared to the spiritual safety found within the church. Gargoyles, however, could be interpreted as a connection with the occult. But of course it's not. Of course it's not. Except for under the anti-Mormon interpretation. Each symbol must be interpreted in the setting, time frame, and background that it is found, not switched around as some of the anti-Mormons do. Someone who was vegetarian could probably make a heyday out of this one. Astral projection burgers? Occultic burgers? Come on, get serious. But yes, under some anti-Mormon interpretations and literalisms, and obsessed with finding Luciferian influences in symbolisms, one can stretch it to that extreme. For the sake of similarity in the star, would the sheriff therefore be an occult group? Some who hated the sheriff department, when they get busted, probably might think so. The sheriffs around the country use. Cult symbol? Of course not. Here's some other symbols to consider. Some of these are early Christian. Some of these are occult symbols. Notice the star here, Texaco. They be therefore occultic because this is a similar symbol found in the occult? Of course not. Some Christian symbols. occult symbols as well as Christian symbols. Here's some symbols that are used in the army, different armies. Notice how that there's different symbols that are very similar to those found in the occult, upside down stars in a circle. But again, does that mean that the occult, there's an occultic connection here? Of course not. Each symbol must be interpreted in its historical setting, which it is found. Symbols on the temple have been identified by its architecture as symbolizing the towers as being the 12 apostles, the high council, and the bishop or their counselors. And the Big Dipper is the lost may find their way through aid of the priesthood, and the gospel has come to the whole earth. And they are not occultic symbols in that setting. As for the sake of similarities, again, the Egyptian god, Aten, and the architectural design on the Tanner's home. I mean, the Tanner's home was built by Mormons, according to what Sandra Tanner was telling me. You know, and they probably didn't even have anything in mind, any Egyptian symbol in mind, and certainly the Tanners are not into Egyptian sun worship just because there's a similarity on the symbolism, or which probably perhaps not even a symbol, but there's a similarity in the Egyptian symbolism with their design on their home that they now live in. And it's ridiculous, but you know, if you were to play the anti-Mormon game, this is what you... An early Christian symbol of the Trinity was the hair, and then 3 in a circle. But does that mean that the hair, or that the Trinity is connected with Playboy because they also use a rabbit? Of course not. Another symbol that is used by the Christians, some modern day Christians, is the triangle. And according to this book written by the Tanners, the triangle is found in this occultic symbol as well. But does that mean that the Christians are therefore occultic? Of course not. The all-seeing eye with the triangle is a symbol that's been used in many different ways for the occult as well as in Masonry, but it's been a symbol of the Trinity in Christianity. Therefore, each symbol must be interpreted in the setting, time frame, background that it's in. It should be ripped apart and placed here and there to get a symbol interpretation. And this is an example of it found in early Christianity as well as later Christianity. Here's an occultic symbol used by the Golden Dawn, and in this setting it would be an occult symbol. The fish was used as a symbol in the occult and in some occult groups. The Christians used this symbol, the early Christians used the symbol. They would scratch a mark in the dirt, and then if another Christian recognized the mark, they would finish off the fish, the ichthus, that it was later known to be, which modern day born again Christians put on the back of their bumpers, ichthus, or a fish symbol, which symbolizes Jesus Christ, God, and is a symbol of Christ. But it was a secret sign back in the early Christian days of persecution, when the Christians were being persecuted. But because it's found in the occult, does that mean that modern day Christians are occultic? Because the occult uses the symbol? Again, we need to ask ourselves, can the Christians, some of these anti-Mormon Christian groups, pass their own test that they're placing on the Mormons with their own symbolisms? The Egyptians used the fish as a symbol of resurrection.